All right, dear students, welcome back. In the second video, we explored questions 6 through 15 together. We practiced parallel verbs, infinitive subjects, passive causatives, and even how to use yet in formal and casual ways. You've done beautifully so far. Now, in this third video, we continue our journey. We'll look at questions 16 through 20.
Question 16. Science is a way of learning about the world. It helps us ask smart questions, find real answers, and make lives better for everyone. Underlined parts. A. Learning. B. Ask. C. Lives. D. Better. A. Learning. Let's begin with part A. Learning. This one feels natural, doesn't it? Science is a way of learning about the world. That's a classic structure, a way of plus verb ing. We use the gerund learning here because it's the object of way of. So yes, this part is perfectly fine. No need to change anything. For example, a way of teaching compassion, a method of sharing merit, a scroll for remembering history. Verdict: no error in A. B. Ask. Now let's move to part B. Ask. The sentence says, it helps us ask smart questions. And yes, that's exactly how we use help in English. After help, we use the base form of the verb. No to, no ing, just clean and simple. Now look at some examples. Help students understand grammar. Help monks recite clearly. Help children learn with joy. So again, this part is smooth and correct. Verdict: no error in B. C. Lives. All right, now we come to part C, lives. And this is where we pause. Let's read the full phrase. Make lives better for everyone. Sounds okay at first, right? But let's think deeper. The sentence ends with for everyone, and that's a generalization. We're not talking about individual people's lives, one by one. We're talking about the human experience as a whole. So instead of lives, we should use the singular, abstract noun. Make life better for everyone. That's smoother, more universal, and grammatically correct. Here are some other examples. Education makes life better. Kindness improves life for all. Technology changes life in many ways. Tip: when you talk about improving things for everyone, use life, not lives. It shows you mean the whole human experience. Verdict: C is the error. Lives should be life. D. Better. And finally, part D, better. Let's check. Make life better for everyone. This is a classic resultative structure. Make plus noun plus adjective. Better is the adjective that shows the result of the action. It answers the question, make life what? Better. So yes, this part is correct. No need to change it. Verdict: no error in D. Final answer: C is the error. Lives should be life.
Question 17. Each regions of the world has its own dominant languages. French in Africa, Spanish or Portuguese in South America, or English in the Nordic countries. Underline parts A. Regions, B. Has, C. Or, D. The. Let's start with part A. Regions. The sentence begins with each regions of the world. And that's where we pause. The word each is a singular determiner, so it must be followed by a singular noun, but regions is plural. That's a mismatch. We should say each region of the world instead. That's grammatically correct and matches the singular subject. Here are the rules. Each/every plus singular subject plus singular verb. Each/every one of the plural noun plus singular verb. So part A contains the error. Regions should be region. Now let's move to part B. Has. The sentence says each region of the world has its own dominant languages. And yes, this is correct. Each region is singular, so we use has, not have. No problem here. Part B is fine. Next up is part C, or. The sentence lists languages, French in Africa, Spanish or Portuguese in South America, and or is used correctly here. It shows that either Spanish or Portuguese might be dominant in South America. That's a valid choice structure. No error in part C. Finally, let's look at part D, the. The sentence ends with English in the Nordic countries. That's perfectly fine. We use the before plural country groups like the United States or the Philippines. So this part is correct too. No error in part D. Final answer, A is the error. Regions should be region.
Question 18. The most important historical events tied to Phom Kulin is the declaration of independence of the Khmer Empire in the year 802 A.D. The underlined parts are A, the most important, B, tied, C, declaration, D, the. Let's start with part A, the most important. The full phrase is the most important historical events, and here's where we pause. The verb later in the sentence is, a singular verb, but the subject here is events, plural. That's a mismatch. Now, we can't change the verb is because the sentence is clearly focusing on one key event, the Declaration of Independence. So instead, we need to adjust the subject to match the singular verb. That means we change the most important historical events to one of the most important historical events. Now the subject is singular, one, and it matches the verb is. So part A contains the error. It should be one of the most important historical events. Here are some other useful grammar points that may interest you. Singular subject, singular verb. One of the plus plural noun to singular subject. Each of the plus plural noun to singular subject. The number of plus plural noun to singular subject. Now let's move to part B, tied. The phrase is events tied to Phom Kulin. This is a correct passive construction. Tied to shows connection or association, and it's commonly used in historical or descriptive writing. No error in part B. Next up is part C, declaration. The sentence is the Declaration of Independence, and yes, this is perfectly fine. Declaration is the correct noun to describe the act of announcing independence. It's singular and fits the meaning beautifully. No error in part C. Finally, let's look at part D, the, before Khmer Empire. The sentence says, of the Khmer Empire, and yes, this is correct. We use the before names of empires, kingdoms, and historical entities. Let's talk about the. We use the before names of empires, kingdoms, and historical entities. It's a signal that we're referring to something official, established, and often unique in history. First, empires. We say the Khmer Empire. Not just Khmer Empire, we need the because it's a specific historical power. Other examples are the Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, the British Empire. Always use the before the name of an empire. It's a formal title. Next, kingdoms. We say, the Kingdom of Cambodia. Even though kingdom is a common noun, when it's part of a country's name, it needs the. Other examples are the Kingdom of Thailand, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Use the before kingdom of when it's a full country name. And finally, historical entities. We say the Soviet Union. It's not just Soviet Union. We need the because it's a unique historical government. Other examples are the United States, the Holy Roman Empire, the Ming Dynasty. Use the before names of historical governments, dynasties, or unions. No error in Part D. Final answer, A, is the error. It should be one of the most important historical events tied to Phumd Kulin.
Question 19. Belly fat can increase over the years and is nothing to joke around about it. Underlined parts. A. Increase. B. Over the years. C. Is. D. About it. Let's start with part A. Increase. This one's smooth. The verb increase works perfectly with can. We say can increase, not can increases or can increasing, so that's a clear match. Modal verb plus base verb. No error in part A. Now, part B, over the years, this phrase adds a time frame. It's natural, it's common, and it's correct. We often use over the years to show gradual change, like over the years habits form or over the years traditions evolve. No error in part B. Next up, part C. Is. Now, this part sets up the second idea. Is nothing to joke around about. And yes, is the right verb here. We're describing belly fat as something serious, not funny. So is fits the tone and the grammar. No error in part C. And finally, part D, about it. Aha, here's the hiccup. The phrase joke around about is already complete. Adding it, again, makes it redundant. We don't need to say about it, just about. So the correct version is nothing to joke around about. Simple, clean, and grammatically correct. When a phrasal verb already ends with a preposition, like about, don't add it, unless the object is missing. Here, the object is already implied, so we drop it. That's nothing to joke about, not about it. It's something to think about, not about it. Error in part D. Fix, remove it.
Question 20. A common misconception is that our fingers wrinkle because swelling triggered by water absorption. Underlined parts: A, is that, B, our, C, because, D, absorption. Let's start with part A. Is that. This part's totally fine. We often use is that to introduce a belief for explanation. Like, the truth is that kindness matters, or the idea is that he might join. So here, a common misconception is that is a natural, correct structure. No error in part A. Now part B, our. This one's also good. We're talking about human fingers in general, and using our makes the sentence feel more relatable and inclusive. It's common in science writing and health education to use our when referring to shared human traits. Error in part B. Next up, part C, because. Here's where we pause. The sentence says, fingers wrinkle because swelling triggered by water absorption. But wait, because needs to be followed by a clause. That means a subject and a verb. Here, swelling triggered by water absorption is just a noun phrase, not a full clause. So we need to switch because to because of. Grammar tip: use because when followed by a clause, subject plus verb. Fingers wrinkle because water triggers swelling. Use because of, due to, or owing to when followed by a noun phrase. Fingers wrinkle because of swelling. Fingers wrinkle due to water absorption. Fingers wrinkle owing to pressure changes. So part C is the error. Fix: change because to because of. Finally, part D, absorption. This word fits perfectly. Water absorption is a natural scientific phrase, and it's used correctly here. No error in part D. Final answer: C is the error.